Good evening, everyone. You see, we all have moments when life knocks us down, when doubt creeps in, when fear tries to steal our dreams. It's easy to let those weak feelings win, to let them rule us, stop us, hold us back. But let me tell you something, weak feelings don't get you anywhere. They don't move you forward, they don't make you stronger, and they sure don't bring out the greatness that's within you. If you want to make something happen in your life, if you want to rise above mediocrity, you've got to kill those weak feelings. It's not going to be easy. Life's going to test you. But in every challenge, in every obstacle, there's an opportunity. The opportunity to choose strength, to say, I will not be defined by this weakness. You've got to stand tall, even when the world feels heavy. You've got to show up when no one else does. You've got to refuse to let fear run your life. You see, weak feelings are like a prison. They lock you in doubt, fear, and insecurity. But the key to getting out of that prison, it's already in your hands. It's called action. It's called persistence. It's called discipline. And you have everything you need to unlock that door. Greatness doesn't come from comfort. It comes from pushing past the limits you've set in your mind. It comes from killing the excuses, the doubt, and the fear that try to hold you back. So I ask you, are you going to let those weak feelings win, or are you going to kill them? Will you settle for less, or will you rise and claim the life you know you deserve? The choice is yours. But let me tell you something, when you make the decision to kill those weak feelings, to fight for your dreams, to push beyond your limits, that's when everything changes. This isn't just a speech, it's a challenge, it's a call to action. Don't just listen to these words, live them. Decide today that you're done with weakness, you're done with fear, you're done with anything that keeps you from reaching your full potential. From this moment on, you kill your weak feelings and you start living with the strength, the courage, and the determination that greatness demands. Stop letting fear dictate your actions. Fear is a liar, and it only holds you back. Success comes from stepping outside your comfort zone and pushing past your limits. If you're not where you want to be, look in the mirror. Kill the excuses and take full responsibility for your life. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Develop the daily habits that get you closer to your goals. You're going to fall, you're going to stumble, but every failure is just a lesson that brings you one step closer to success. Never lose your sense of purpose or desire to grow, no matter how much success you achieve. It starts with you. If you don't believe in your own greatness, why should anyone else? Keep moving forward, keep growing. Small steps every day lead to big results. If you want to fly, you can't be hanging with turkeys. Your circle should challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable. Everything you do should be aligned with your values and your goals. Don't waste time or energy on things that don't move you toward your dreams. You see, fear is something that shows up in all of our lives. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you're not good enough, that you can't do it, that you'll fail. And too often, people let that fear control them. They let it stop them from going after their dreams, from taking risks, from stepping into their greatness. But fear is nothing more than a roadblock, a mental one. It's designed to test you, to see how badly you want what you say you want. Now, you can let that fear paralyze you, or you can face it head on. Because here's the truth, what you're afraid of is never as bad as it seems. The real enemy isn't the fear itself, it's how you respond to it. Are you going to let it stop you, or are you going to confront it? When you face your fears, you strip them of their power. You realize that fear isn't something to run from, it's something to challenge, something to overcome. You want to live a life of purpose? You want to achieve something meaningful? Then fear has to be your fuel, not your cage. You've got to use that fear as a motivator, not a limiter. Every time fear shows up, it's giving you an opportunity to prove to yourself just how strong you really are. It's a chance to say, I'm not backing down. That's where real growth happens, on the other side of fear. That's where the breakthroughs come, where you step into a new level of strength, courage, and confidence. You have to be willing to push through the fear, to stand in the face of uncertainty and say, I'm going to do it anyway. Because fear is only temporary, regret is forever. You don't want to look back on your life and realize that the only thing holding you back was a feeling. You want to look back and know that you faced every challenge, every obstacle, every fear head on, and that you came out stronger because of it. You've got to understand something, growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It's easy to stay where things are familiar, where you feel safe, where you don't have to push yourself too hard. But nothing great comes from staying comfortable. If you want to achieve something bigger, if you want to rise above average, you've got to get used to being uncomfortable. Because here's the thing, every time you step outside of what feels easy, you're growing. Every challenge you take on, every uncomfortable situation you put yourself in is an opportunity to become better, sharper, stronger. That discomfort you feel, that's where transformation begins. It's like working out. You don't build muscle by lifting light weights that don't challenge you. You build strength by pushing past your limits, by going further than you thought you could. You've got to embrace that discomfort. When you feel uneasy, when things get tough, when you're unsure if you can do it, that's exactly where you need to be. That's where the magic happens. It's in those moments that you discover what you're really made of. And let me tell you, you're capable of more than you know. But you'll never find that out by staying where it's safe. So when the situation feels uncomfortable, when it feels like the odds are stacked against you, that's when you lean in. That's when you keep moving forward. Because every step you take outside of that comfort zone is a step toward the person you're meant to become. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. You train yourself to thrive in those tough moments. You learn that discomfort is a sign you're on the right path. It's about getting comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's where success lives. That's where dreams are realized. And that's where you find out just how far you can really go. Look, at some point, we all face challenges. We all have reasons why things aren't going the way we want them to. Life throws obstacles in our path, people let us down, and sometimes we're just plain tired. But you know what? None of that is an excuse. Because at the end of the day, excuses don't get results. Excuses keep you stuck exactly where you are. If you want to go somewhere in life, you've got to stop blaming circumstances, stop blaming other people, and start taking responsibility. It's easy to say, I couldn't do this because of that, or I would have made it, but something got in the way. It's easy, but it's a trap. Every time you make an excuse, you're giving your power away. You're saying that something outside of you controls your success, controls your destiny. But that's not true. The only thing standing between you and what you want is the story you're telling yourself about why you can't have it. No more stories, no more excuses. If you want something, you've got to go after it with everything you've got, no matter what's in your way. It's on you to figure it out, to make it happen. Sure, life isn't always fair. But guess what? It's not supposed to be. You can either let that stop you, or you can decide that nothing is going to get in your way. The truth is, the most successful people aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who refuse to let excuses dictate their future. They figured out how to win despite the obstacles. They showed up, did the work, and didn't let anything, not fear, not failure, not doubt, stop them. So the next time you catch yourself making an excuse, ask yourself, is this helping me or holding me back? Because if it's not helping, it's an excuse and it's time to cut it out. You've got what it takes. Now stop making excuses and start making things happen. It's all on you. Motivation is a good feeling, right? It's that spark that gets you fired up, makes you feel like you can conquer the world. But here's the problem: motivation comes and goes and goes. It's fleeting. Some days you wake up feeling on top of the world, ready to crush your goals. Other days you don't even want to get out of bed. And if you're only relying on motivation to drive you, you're going to be inconsistent. You're going to fall short when that feeling isn't there. That's why you need discipline. Discipline is what kicks in when motivation is nowhere to be found. Discipline is showing up and putting in the work, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when there's no one watching. It's that quiet commitment you make to yourself every single day that says, I'm going to do what I said I'd do, no matter what. See, discipline is what separates the good from the great. Anybody can be motivated for a few days, a few weeks, maybe even a few months. But what happens when the grind gets tough? When you're tired, when you don't see immediate results? That's where most people quit. They wait for that motivation to come back, but it doesn't. That's when discipline steps in. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired or frustrated or doubting yourself. Discipline is about action, consistent, relentless action. It's about creating habits that carry you through those tough days. It's about sticking to the plan, staying focused, and trusting the process, even when it seems like nothing's happening. Because the truth is, real progress isn't glamorous. It's not always exciting. It's the result of doing the hard, unsexy work day in and day out without cutting corners. So don't wait for motivation to strike. Don't depend on a feeling to get things done. Build your discipline like a muscle. Train yourself to keep moving forward, to keep working, to keep striving no matter what. In the end, it's not motivation that's going to get you to where you want to go. It's the discipline to keep showing up every single day, rain or shine. That's what leads to greatness. Failure is one of the greatest teachers you'll ever have. But too many people are afraid of it. They see failure as something to avoid, something to be ashamed of. They think if they fail, it means they're not good enough, that they don't have what it takes. But that mindset is what holds you back. Because the truth is, failure is not the end of the road. It's part of the journey. It's a stepping stone on the path to success. You see, failure isn't something you run from. It's something you embrace. Because every time you fail, you learn, you gain experience, you find out what doesn't work. And that brings you one step closer to what does. The most successful people didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by failing over and over again, learning from every misstep and refusing to give up. Failure gives you something motivation and success can't. It gives you resilience. It builds your character. It shows you how strong you are when things don't go your way. You want to be great? Then you need to learn how to fall and get back up stronger. Failure isn't the enemy. Fear of failure is. When you're too scared to fail, you're too scared to try. And if you're not trying, you're not growing. Think about it. Every time you face a setback, every time you stumble, you have two choices. You can either let it define you and hold you down, or you can use it as fuel to drive you forward. Let it motivate you to work harder, to get better, to prove to yourself that you've got what it takes. Because failure doesn't define you, how you respond to it does. So don't be afraid to fail. In fact, expect it. Welcome it. Because every failure is just feedback. It's the universe telling you, not this way, but keep going, and the more you fail, the closer you get to that breakthrough. Use it as fuel to keep the fire inside of you burning, to stay hungry, to stay determined. Remember, the road to success is paved with failures, but only those who embrace them, who learn from them, and who keep pushing through them will reach the top. Failure is part of the process, so don't just accept it, embrace it. Let it fuel your desire to grow, your hunger to improve, and your determination to succeed. Because when you do, nothing will be able to stop you. No matter how much success you achieve, no matter how high you climb, you've got to remember one thing: stay humble. It's easy to get caught up in the praise, in the attention, in the feeling of having made it. But the moment you start believing your own hype, the moment you think you've arrived, that's the moment you stop growing. You see, humility keeps you grounded. It reminds you that you're still learning, that there's always more to achieve, more to improve. Being humble doesn't mean you downplay your success or act like you haven't accomplished anything. It means recognizing that there's always room to grow, always someone better than you, always a new level to reach. It's about appreciating where you are, but never losing sight of where you want to go. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. And that journey never stops. If you get too comfortable, too full of yourself, you stop pushing, you stop grinding, and that's when you fall off. But at the same time, while you're staying humble, you've got to stay hungry. That hunger is what got you here in the first place. It's that drive, that fire, that relentless pursuit of excellence that took you from where you started to where you are now. And no matter how much you've achieved, you've got to keep that hunger alive. You've got to stay hungry for more growth, more knowledge, more success. The most dangerous thing you can do is lose that hunger. When you get satisfied, when you start thinking you've done enough, that's when you stop pushing yourself. And that hunger is what separates the great from the good. You've got to want it just as bad, if not more, when you're on top as you did when you were just starting out. You've got to have that same drive, that same hunger to keep moving forward. So stay humble enough to remember where you came from and know that you're always a work in progress, but stay hungry enough to never be satisfied with where you are. That balance is what creates lasting success. It's about appreciating the wins, but never settling. It's about being proud of what you've achieved, but always pushing for more. Stay humble, but stay hungry. Keep grinding, keep learning, and keep striving for greatness, because the moment you think you've made it, that's when you lose. But if you keep that hunger alive, keep that fire burning, nothing can stop you. There will be times in your life when no one believes in you. People will doubt you. They'll look at your dreams, your ambitions, and say, you can't do that, or who do you think you are? And sometimes those voices of doubt will come from the people closest to you, the ones you expect to support you. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter if no one else sees your vision, if no one else believes in your potential. What matters is that you believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in you, how can anyone else? That self-belief, that inner confidence, it's the foundation of everything you're going to build. When the world says you can't, your belief in yourself says, watch me. When doors close, when opportunities seem far away, when nothing is going right, it's that belief that keeps you going, keeps you pushing, keeps you grinding. You've got to have faith in your own ability to rise above whatever life throws your way, even when the people around you don't see it. Now, believing in yourself doesn't mean thinking you're perfect. It's not about being cocky or acting like you know it all. It's about understanding that no matter how many setbacks you face, no matter how many times you fall, you have what it takes to get back up. It's about trusting that the work you're putting in, the sacrifices you're making will pay off. You don't need validation from others. You don't need their approval. What you need is the courage to bet on yourself when no one else will. There are going to be days when you feel alone in your journey, when it feels like nobody gets it, nobody sees the vision the way you do. And that's okay, because your vision is yours. It's not for everyone else to understand. It's not their job to believe in it. It's yours. You've got to be your own biggest fan, your own biggest supporter. You've got to wake up every day with the mindset that no matter how many people doubt you, you're going to make it happen. And when you do, when you start achieving what you've set out to do, those same people who didn't believe in you will come around. They'll see the success, they'll see the results, and they'll say, I always knew you could do it. But it won't matter by then, because you'll already know what got you there. It wasn't their approval. It was your belief in yourself when nobody else had it. So when the doubts creep in, when the voices around you get loud, block them out. Focus on your goals, focus on your grind, and keep pushing forward. Because if you believe in yourself, truly believe, there's nothing you can't do. And eventually the world will catch up with what you already knew that you were capable all along. Too many people get caught up in trying to be perfect. They think everything has to be just right before they take that first step, before they make a move, before they even try. But here's the truth: perfection doesn't exist. You'll never have everything lined up exactly the way you want it. You'll never be 100% ready. And if you're waiting for perfection, you'll end up standing still, paralyzed by fear, missing out on the opportunities right in front of you. It's not about being perfect, it's about progress. It's about moving forward one step at a time, learning and growing as you go. The real power is in the process, in showing up day after day, even when things aren't perfect, even when you don't feel ready. Progress is messy. It's full of mistakes, setbacks, and challenges. But every time you make a little progress, you're getting better, stronger, and closer to your goals. Don't let the fear of not being perfect stop you from making progress. There will always be something that could be better, something that needs more work. But if you're constantly chasing perfection, you're never going to take the action needed to get ahead. Progress is about getting out there, doing the work, making mistakes, and learning from them. It's about recognizing that those small wins, those little steps forward, are what lead to the big changes over time. You want to improve? You want to succeed? Then focus on the journey, not the destination. Every day, ask yourself, did I make progress today? Did I move the needle? Even just a little, that's what matters. Not whether you did everything perfectly, but whether you're closer to your goal than you were yesterday. That's how success happens, not in one big leap, but in consistent, steady progress. And here's the thing: perfection is just an illusion. The most successful people in the world aren't perfect. They're the ones who've made more mistakes, faced more failures, and learned from every one of them. They understand that progress is what matters. They know that every setback is just another opportunity to learn, to grow, and to get better. So stop worrying about being perfect. Stop holding yourself back, because things aren't exactly how you want them to be. Focus on moving forward, on doing the best you can today, and then showing up again tomorrow. It's not about where you start. It's about where you're headed. And as long as you're making progress, you're on the right path. Forget perfection. Progress is the goal. Keep moving forward, keep improving, and trust that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to the success you're chasing. The people you surround yourself with matter. They have a direct impact on how far you'll go, what you'll accomplish, and the kind of person you'll become. You can't afford to have negative energy around you, people who doubt your potential or drag you down. If you want to achieve greatness, you've got to surround yourself with greatness. Look at your circle. Are the people around you pushing you forward or holding you back? Are they challenging you to be better, or are they comfortable with staying the same? The truth is, you can't expect to reach higher levels if you're constantly surrounded by people who are satisfied with mediocrity. You need people who inspire you, who make you want to do more, be more, and achieve more. People who aren't afraid to call you out when you're slipping, who won't let you settle for less than what you're capable of. It's about being in the presence of those who elevate you. People who have been where you want to go, who can show you what's possible. When you're around greatness, it rubs off on you. It changes your mindset, your work ethic, and your vision for what's achievable. You start thinking bigger, dreaming bigger, and doing more to get there. But you've got to be intentional about it. You can't just let anyone into your inner circle. You've got to protect your energy, protect your time, and only allow people who add value to your life. Surround yourself with people who are on a mission, who are chasing something bigger than themselves, because their drive, their ambition will fuel yours. And don't just look for people who are ahead of you, find people who are on the same grind. People who are hungry, who want success just as badly as you do. Iron sharpens iron. When you're around others who are striving for greatness, you feed off each other's energy, each other's momentum. You push each other to new heights, to new levels of success. But here's the thing, you also have to be the kind of person who others want to be around. You've got to bring something to the table. Be the person who inspires, who motivates, who pushes others to be their best. Surround yourself with greatness, yes, but also be greatness, because the better you become, the better the people around you will be. So if you're serious about reaching the next level, about achieving the things you say you want to achieve, take a hard look at your circle. If they're not helping you grow, if they're not pushing you to be your best, it's time to make some changes. Surround yourself with greatness and watch how far you'll go. The company you keep will either lift you up or bring you down. Choose wisely. You've got to understand something: life is short. Every day you wake up is a gift, another opportunity to make something of yourself, to leave your mark on this world. But too many people are just existing, going through the motions, drifting without direction. They're alive, but they're not living. That's the difference between just getting by and living with purpose. When you live with purpose, everything changes. Your actions have meaning. Your days have direction. You wake up every morning knowing why you're here, what you're working toward, and what kind of legacy you want to leave behind. Living with purpose isn't about chasing the next paycheck or doing what's expected of you. It's about being driven by something deeper. It's about knowing what matters most to you and aligning everything you do with that vision. Purpose gives you focus. It keeps you grounded when life gets tough, when things don't go your way. When you have a purpose, setbacks don't break you, they motivate you. Challenges don't stop you, they push you to find new ways to keep moving forward. That's because you're not just working for yourself. You're working for something bigger, something that drives you, something that pulls you toward the person you're meant to be.